On a chilly fall night in November 1966, two young couples drove into the TNT area north of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, when they realized they were not alone. What they saw that night has evolved into one of the great mysteries of all time. Hence, the Mothman legacy began. It has grown into a phenomenon known all over the world by millions of curious people asking questions. What really happened? What did these people see? Has it been seen since? It still sparks the world's curiosity, the mystery behind Point Pleasant, West Virginia's Mothman.
Ghouls and Goblins. I am your host, Molly, with assistance by my favorite human, Josh.
Yo.
And we welcome you to our talks on conspiracy theories, cryptids, and other strange and peculiar things in this world. Welcome to ConspiriWeird.
Cryptids are creatures that cryptozoologists believe are out in the wild, but are not recognized by science. Cryptozoology is really a focus on folklore records. Some of the best-known cryptids, you know them, are Bigfoot, El Chupacabra, the Jersey Devil, and the Loch Ness Monster. Today, we're going to focus on the Mothman.
Now, the Mothman is a cryptid that is found in West Virginia, mainly in Point Pleasant. It is known as being a black, 7 to 10 foot tall creature with red eyes and wings. The first known sighting was on November 12, 1966. 5 men were in a nearby town, and they were digging a grave when they saw a man-like creature with wings flying overhead. A few days later, on November 15th, 2 couples that were hanging out together had another sighting when they were near a former World War II munitions plant. The couple sped away, and it chased after them. The next several days had several sightings, including 2 firefighters who said they saw a large bird with red eyes. Now, there were rumors that telephones, televisions, cars, and cop dispatch radios had disruptions. The most infamous sighting of the Mothman was on December 15th, 1967. Apparently, the locals saw the Mothman on top of or possibly flying over the Silver Bridge. This bridge goes over the Ohio River and connects Point Pleasant to Gallipolis, Ohio. After Mothman was spotted on the bridge, it collapsed. 46 people did die, and an investigation shows that there was a fracture in one of these suspension chains. 2 of the bodies were actually never even found.
There is a theory out there that the Mothman and the bridge disaster were linked to a curse that is over 200 years old. Shawnee Chief Cornstalk led the Native Americans at the Battle Point of Pleasant, and he was eventually murdered there. He was shot 8 times, and when he was dying, he let out his curse. The curse goes, "I came to your house as a friend, and you have murdered me. You killed my young son, Ellen Episco. For this, may the curse of the Great Spirit rest upon this spot. May it be cursed by nature. May its hopes be forever blighted." Point Pleasant has had its experiences with floods and fires ever since, and it may be because of Chief Cornstalk's curse.
Mothman has been sighted at other disastrous events since that December night in Point Pleasant. People have seen the Mothman before 9/11, earthquakes, and tsunamis. People say it is either that the Mothman is creating these events, or that it can see into the future and is a warning. One instance was at Chernobyl. A human-like creature with large wings and red glowing eyes was seen by several employees in the control room days before the event. quite a few people say a black winged creature was flying close to the Twin Towers in the days leading up to 9/11. Other witnesses saw a creature flying next to the second plane during the hitting of the second tower. Allegedly, men in black went to these witnesses, warning them not to share their experiences. In January 1926, a Mothman-like creature was spotted in a region of southeast China. A flood happened in the area from a dam collapse, and 15,000 people died. John Keel, a journalist and ufologist, wrote a book called The Mothman Prophecies. In Keel's book, he explains that the Mothman is an alien or possibly a supernatural manifestation. The book talks about how cryptids are interdimensional creatures that are ultra-terrestrial beings that are a constant in our world, and when we start paying too close attention to these beings, bad things start to happen. The ultra-terrestrial theory is that unexplained phenomena like the Mothman or UFOs are hallucinations caused by a psychic intelligence. He also claimed that in the Mothman prophecies that the residents of Point Pleasant experienced precognitions of the bridge collapse, visits from Inhumans, saw UFOs, had men in black threatening them, and other experiences. We are going to talk about the Mothman prophecies in a different episode, though. Josh, would you like to talk about some fun facts?
Fun facts. All right.
Facts.
Every third weekend in September every year, they hold a Mothman festival in Point Pleasant. The next fact, there is a 12-foot tall Mothman statue in the downtown area that was created by Bob Roach. It was unveiled in 2003, and also the intro to this episode was the words written on that plaque. There is actually a museum dedicated to the Mothman called the Mothman Museum, go figure, and Research Center that was opened in 2005. John Keel's book, The Mothman Prophecies, was turned into a movie with Richard Gere.
We just watched that last night.
Which we just watched. Pretty good, to be honest.
Josh is like, this is hitting a little too close to home right now.
Yeah. Fun fact. The munitions plant, or TNT area, still exists today. It's more than 8,000 acres that were devoted to the ammunition manufacturing facility. After the Second World War, it was abandoned and converted to a wildlife management area. It was discovered in the 80s that it was contaminated severely by explosive byproducts. It is primarily used for fishing and hunting, but is still on the EPA's National Priorities list for hazardous waste. Doesn't really sound like a good area to go hunting.
I would not eat anything from that area.
No.
Don't invite me to dinner.
Absolutely not. This is where the Mothman's lair is. But unfortunately, much of the area where it inhabited it has been lost to government efforts to demolish the TNT area.
Now, this last fun fact I think you would like because it's your favorite superhero.
What's that?
Batman.
Well, yeah, I know that. What's the fact?
The term Mothman was possibly coined because the Batman TV show at the time had Batman fighting a villain called Killer Moth.
And you can find on our blog and social media a photo of that comic.
We're going to be posting a few pictures of what's going on.
Possible sightings.
The statue.
As things go with these things, of course, they're blurry.
We're not going to talk about that.
Nobody's a great photographer.
We're not going to argue about this,
At the
Josh.
last second.
Not going to talk about this, Josh. Okay, so question for you, Josh.
What's that?
What do you think about cryptids as a whole? Do you believe in them?
Cryptids as a whole, or do I believe in them? So, I believe that there are definitely things that are unexplained in this world that we haven't explained, essentially. Do I believe in the fact that it might have been coming from another dimension? It seems a little far-fetched for me. I can't say that I don't without seeing the facts that I wouldn't believe it, but it's very hard to believe when you didn't experience the items that these other people did at Point Pleasant. How about yourself?
I definitely believe in cryptids as a whole. Full on, wholeheartedly, with my whole chest.
All of your chest.
All of my chest. I mean, why not is the question. I mean, if you think about it, there are forests out there that we haven't explored all the way through. We haven't even explored the whole entire ocean yet. So we don't know what's out there.
Absolutely not. It always freaks me out when you see like these Chinese fisherman boats bring up like a squid that's like 2 stories long. You know?
Or like those weird fish with like teeth in it. Ooh.
Oh, like human-looking teeth?
Human-looking teeth.
Yeah, right. Blubberfish from down below, and you're just like, what is that?
What is it?
Yeah, so very easily, I think there's definitely creatures that we haven't, we just haven't classified yet because we haven't seen them, and it's, I mean, maybe a matter of time, maybe, who knows, maybe we'll never get there. But, yeah, there's definitely some more stuff that we don't know about in this world that are strange and weird and waiting to be seen.
The whole X-Files saying, I want to believe.
Yeah, right.
I want to believe.
What do you think about the cursed lands?
Oh, I believe it. I definitely believe it, especially when there was like a war that happened or a lot of people were murdered in a certain area. Definitely think that those lands can be cursed or haunted in some way. I'm very believing of words have powers, and Chief Cornstalk said that this land is going to have a curse on it. So that's what I believe. What about you?
Nah.
No.
No, I don't. Sorry, not sorry. It's just what I believe. No.
Okay, so
I mean, he maybe blasphemed, the guy with his curse, but do I think something happened? No.
It's like, I curse you, I curse your goat, I curse your family.
I curse your whole family. Oh, jeez.
Okay, so what do you think about the Mothman being a harbinger of destruction? Or do you think it was more of like, I'm warning you about these horrible things that are going down?
So, in my research looking into this, what I found is that nobody's accused the Mothman of actually hurting them. What they said is that they saw the Mothman and then bad things happened. So I think it's more a harbinger. Sorry,
like
not
a
harbinger
warning.
of death. A warner. Yeah, a warner. No, he warns. Yes, I think the Mothman shows up more as a precursor to these, disastrous events. And actually what I've seen, not seen, but read about is that, just like you were saying earlier, how there was, electrical interferences and things going on. There was actually, there were animals that were experiencing weird things going on as they before the days leading up to these events. Where the Mothman was showing up. One of those areas that showed up was it actually there in Point Pleasant was the Silver Bridge, and it was there supposedly for days before the bridge collapsed, which we see in the movie, but we're not going to get into the movie.
Movies are not all the way factual all the time.
I mean, people aren't all the way factual all the time either. It's kind of he said, she said, which is a greatly experienced in the movie. But one of the interesting things is that I've read is it wasn't just one person that said it, and now suddenly it's a big thing.
It was like dozens of people.
Dozens of people between 1966 and 1967.
And it wasn't just in that one town. It was
right.
all around the world.
All around the world, not just that one town. It might have started in that one town, supposedly, but, as you said, 1926, it was seen supposedly in China. Yeah. That's just nuts.
Way before the 60s.
Waiting for the 60s.
I personally want to think that it is a warning. telling us about these horrible events that are coming. Like you just talked about, he never hurt anybody himself, itself, herself, whatever, we don't know. But I just want to give it a hug. Like, thank you for at least trying to warn us of the horrible things. Like, thank you. Has anybody thanked you yet, Mothman? Because I'm thanking you. I appreciate it.
Today, we officially recognize you, Mothman, as a do-gooder for the humans.
We appreciate you and all your hard work.
We'd give you a Boy Scout badge, but I don't have any. Sorry.
Take me out to dinner. Okay.
Oh, jeez. So, do you think do you think it was just mass hysteria, or do you think it, partly could be part of the ultra-terrestrial theory? If you can, just explain that again for listeners.
The ultra-terrestrial theory is that unexplained phenomena like the Mothman or UFOs are hallucinations caused by a psychic intelligence. I mean...
So, in plain words, what does that mean?
It means that some intelligence that are smarter than us lowly humans are using its psychic abilities to make us see things.
That's just nuts.
Rude. It's disrespectful and rude.
At least take me out to dinner first.
Ask,
before you start giving me visions.
Get me a steak, please, first. Before you use your psychic abilities on me. Thank you very much.
Okay. I feel violated.
I mean, I definitely don't think it's mass hysteria since it happened in more than one location around the world, like we just talked about. So there's no way that these people interacted with each other, especially back in like the 20s, 30s, 60s.
Yeah,
before cell phones.
Decades apart from each other and across the globe. Yeah, definitely not.
Before the interweb. So definitely do not think it's mass hysteria. It could be the ultra-terrestrial theory. But again, that's kind of rude that they did that without asking us first.
Yes.
Would you ever want to go to the Mothman Festival?
Yes, I am planning it this year.
We are?
I'm looking into it. I'm looking into it, okay? I gotta get the time off, alright? Unfortunately, this isn't all we do. Yes. I do have a job.
So, is there anything else that you would like to talk about the Mothman?
Well, the Mothman story is an interesting one because as we dive into more episodes, there's things that are going to relate, and so we'll probably come back around to a little bit of the Mothman because some like the Men in Black, which we know as the great, movies with Will Smith and Tommy Jones, that actually based in some facts. So
they all kind of interlock with each other.
Right. So, for example, the Men in Black that we're seeing around Point Pleasant, we're asking questions to people about what they saw, telling them not to say anything. And as, in the movies, they did inquire to people about stuff, but then they gave them a flash of light to forget what they saw, which some people actually experienced with after talking to some of these guys. And the funny thing, though, is that, and more creepy, is that the Men in Black, when they are described by the people that had seen them, they look like humans, but then there's something wrong. Some people have said that their skin is more translucent, or they don't know what to do with their hands. Like, they got invited in, they go to the people went to hand them like something to drink, and the Men in Black just didn't know what to do with their hands.
Maybe I'm a Man in Black because half the time I don't know what to do with my hands either.
It's because you have a baby hand.
I only do have one. I really only have one hand, so I really don't know what to do with them.
But they basically are. It was more like something is taking over this body, or in this body very temporarily, and in this meat suit, and doesn't really know how to use it. So, yeah, creepy things. People getting followed by the Men in Black all the way towards their home or all around town. And they're getting questioned about what they saw recently. The Mothman. So, that's I think that's about it. You know, have you guys seen anything with the Mothman? Have you seen a 7 to 10 foot tall winged creature with red
eyes.
glowing eyes? Or
that was not a sandhill crane, which is also another theory.
There's that. There's the theory. Some people think that it could be owls, or like a form of an owl, like an ancestor owl that was a lot larger. And I forget what the name of the the type of the owl was, but some of these owls, they because they're night creatures, they have more blood vessels and stuff in the back of their eyes that help with better night vision. But because of this particular owl species had a high concentration of those blood vessels in the back of their eyes, and so when the light hits it, go figure, red glowing eyes. But they were also massive, and so yeah,
so
could
the
be an owl.
Mothman just might be a big freaking bird.
Big bird.
Not
the big bird.
Not the big bird.
But a big bird.
But a big bird. So if you have ever experienced the Mothman, or know somebody that nobody's cousin,
we want to hear from you.
Send us an email or hop onto one of our social medias.
That's about it.
That
concludes our episode on the Mothman.
And stay weird out there, guys.
We want to thank you for tuning in. You can find us on all your favorite social platforms by searching ConspiriWeird, posting photos and details from each episode. Please consider keeping our tummies full by donating to the Snack Fund. Donations will be given a shout out on the podcast. Special thanks to Audionautics.com for the theme music. And remember, question everything.